No one talks about the massive impact that ETFs have now when we talk about manipulation. No one talks about that. Hey guys, welcome back to CLOCKWISE Crypto. Hope you guys are moving forward in everything that you do. Diving right into this article here, taking a look at this article on-chain activity suggests institutions are driving recent Bitcoin price action, according to some crypto analysts. Taking a look here, it's showing that according to Martinez, the reduction of creation of new Bitcoin wallets indicates that institutions heavily account for recent price movement of BTC as retail traders are still waiting on the sidelines. This trend points towards the lack of retail participation, as you see right here. And you can see here the price in comparison to new addresses. Okay, so new addresses are going down, as you can see right here. New addresses going down. That's in the orange, with the price of Bitcoin soaring. So that's a good observation there for sure. Bitcoin is currently trading at around 52,000. At the time of this video, we're sitting at 51, pull back about $500. But in this article here, we can see that it's pretty evident that something's going on, guys. Looking at this chart, new addresses. So typically, as you can see here in October, when there's an increase in new addresses, there's an increase in price, right? So right now we're seeing the opposite. So they're saying here that there may be price manipulation. So definitely pay attention to that. And you know, I'm not saying be on the sidelines. You guys know how, you know, we're accumulating through it all. You know, we don't buy on green days, but we do accumulate on pullbacks for sure. So looking here at the Bitcoin open interest, all exchanges symbol, and pretty much they're just analyzing these charts to show you the correlation with the data. So we have open interest in blue, and then we have price USD. So we see how the two typically correlate. Okay, when one goes up, they flow. Right now, Bitcoin's not flowing. This is not normal, and that's definitely something that I want to highlight. When we look at the charts, the same thing we're seeing here. We see divergence. Okay, so we see divergence, but for some reason we're still going up. So we see this divergence. Okay, we see this divergence. We can actually pull it on the top. We see price going up, but we see the stochastics going down. That definitely is divergence. Okay, so and it's not bullish divergence either. So definitely, you know, pretty much what this article is suggesting is some type of manipulation. Okay, that's what it's suggesting. So we can see that here on the charts. You see the divergence that we see, that we've been talking about, but then we see the actual price action. So I'm starting to get these messages. Aha, see, we're going up. This is it, guys. You know, we're long-term bullish on Bitcoin, right? So when I say it's pulling back, I'm saying that from an entry standpoint. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to zero. Long term, we know Bitcoin's going to be around. Okay, like long term, I know Bitcoin's going to be around. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist by any means. None of us are here, CLOCKWISE Crypto, but we do understand that pullbacks do happen in markets. So you know, definitely, I'm not surprised by the perceived manipulation based off of what we're seeing here and what we've seen historically. Okay, historically, when you see an increase in new Bitcoin wallet addresses, you see an increase in price. Okay, we're not seeing that right now. Okay, so with that being said, that's definitely something to pay attention to and to keep your eyes open for. You can see here. You can point out here with another chart, Bitcoin whales have purchased more than 100,000 Bitcoin in the past 10 days, worth about 5 billion. Okay, and so that may be a correlation as well. When you see Bitcoin whales who already are whales are making purchases, but there's no new addresses that are coming into the blockchain for those that are following along there. So please pay attention to that. I just think it's good information to have. Like, more information changes situations, right? So the more information that you have, the more information you can use to make an educated decision for your portfolio. So I don't think that this is coincidence. I do think that Bitcoin is essentially allowing allowing pretty much massive control over the price now. With the Bitcoin ETF, we're allowing massive control over Bitcoin. Okay. And that's something that hasn't really been talked about, right? So it's all been bullish, but no one talks about the massive impact that ETFs have now. When we talk about manipulation, no one talks about that. Okay. And that's okay. But that's something that's definitely not talked about. So, we look at historically, in this article saying still history repeats itself. We're anticipating ADA to rise to 0.8, retrace to 0.6, and then enter a bull run towards $8 by January 2025. Okay, so this is an analysis here, which $8 is pretty conservative, right? I know a lot of people are saying 10. A lot of people are saying, I've heard 10, I've heard 15. I think I would say a $5 to $8 range would be conservative for Cardano when we look at those price actions. So definitely in agreement with that. The timetable I think is a little hard to gauge that timetable. But like I said, if new highs are broken, that'll pretty much be confirmation. So definitely bullish long term on Cardano. Love to see that, and ultimately bullish long term on crypto. So I don't want that to be misconstrued when I talk about price action, right? So when I talk about price action, you see me talking about pullbacks on Bitcoin. Okay, those pullbacks are good things. That's not a bad thing. That is a good thing when we talk about the price action, because that's a discounted price for us to potentially enter the markets. And you do your own research. What we do isn't financial advice, but that's what we're doing when we talk about pullbacks. Okay, so when Bitcoin pulled back to 15,000, that was an opportunity for us to take advantage of that when we were about at 16,000 range. I think it was about 15.1, anywhere from 15 to 16 we pulled back to. We utilize that as an opportunity. The same thing goes for any potential pullback setups that we're looking at. So that's one thing I'm really paying attention to the price action here, and I will take you guys with me on our travels so you can see what I'm talking about in real time, not just waiting till we get back in the studio. So pay attention to that. I am very wary of that on-chain analysis that we just saw here when we talk about the number of new Bitcoin addresses not correlating to the price right now. So I am paying attention to that heavily, because we are pushing up pretty significantly, and there's not an increase in number of new addresses right now. So something to pay attention to. Next article here, we look at JP Morgan refuses to reimburse customer after $14,000 drained from account by imposter. This is huge, because this is like we have in this situation when we talk about all news is good news. I don't necessarily think JP Morgan Chase has been painted in the best light recently, especially with Jamie Dimon coming out and speaking crazy about crypto, even when he's involved in the ETF, or speaking crazy about Bitcoin in particular. Even when he's involved in the ETF, it's been pretty strange for JP Morgan Chase being in crypto articles recently. But taking a look here, JP Morgan Chase refusing to reimburse customer after con artist pretending to represent the bank stole $14,000 from her account. Florida resident and veterinarian Shauna Green says it all started with a phone call, appeared to be a Chase customer support, and then the number looked legitimate. Her call ID said Chase was on the line. Green took the call, began talking to the scammer, who said her business debit card was at risk and needed to be replaced. Green agreed to give her the PIN to the thief. The next day, Chase told Green that a new debit card was in the mail. What she didn't know was the scammer sent the new debit card to New York, and they immediately began spending her money once it arrived. The new debit card got into the hands of thieves. They spent most of the night using it in stores in Connecticut. They would buy alcohol, then get extra cash with each purchase. Dozens of transactions totaling more than $14,000 came directly from the Medicine River Animal Hospital checking account. So, and it's crazy. So currently, banking laws in the U.S. typically protect people whose accounts are hacked or whose cards are stolen, but they don't cover people if they are duped by scammers into authorizing transactions. Chase Bank already denied Green's claim. The bank told pretty much a news station that they're looking into the situation but haven't responded further. That's big. And I thought accounts were FDIC insured, but there's a loophole, especially you get into those high dollar amounts. I guess there's like a loophole where when it gets real, they're like, oh, wait a sec, you gave it to them, wait a sec. So that's huge. So really feel for her. I hope that she gets her funds back, and isn't painting a good light for JP Morgan Chase once again, and really pointing the direction into crypto, really pointing that direction to self-custody and managing yourself. And but in this scenario, it's kind of like, it's almost like, see, this is why you shouldn't put your trust in the bank. This is why you should, what's the difference between, if the bank isn't going to protect me, I might as well just manage it myself anyway. So that's pretty much where I stand. I thought the banks there are FDIC insured, but I guess not. But I hope that she gets their funds back and they're able to move on from this. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted on that and see how that continues to play out. So definitely we'll keep you updated there. As we look at Bitcoin again, Bitcoin's pumping up. And like I said, I'm in the agreement of a little bit of manipulation going on, especially with Bitcoin ETF. A ton of people are buying, but really it's really whales, right? Whales are buying. And what is a whale? Pretty much anyone with, at this time, I would say a whale is anyone with 100 Bitcoin or more. It used to be 10. It used to be 10 Bitcoin when I first got in. But I think that it's anyone with 100 or more that can significantly move the market. So I think that it's one of those things where, we pay attention to those wallets, pay attention to what is going on, so you can really be informed about what the whales are doing. I think that's important. Okay, so one thing I do want to highlight in this video is Michael Saylor. So Michael Saylor, which this surprised me. Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, steps down. Okay, now this really shocked me. I was not expecting this. Michael Saylor is pretty much the first CEO that I knew to really bet on Bitcoin and put their money where their mouth is, and make significantly sized bets on Bitcoin. So MicroStrategy announced Tuesday that its founder and CEO Michael Saylor will step down from the top job and will take a new post as executive chairman, focus on the company's Bitcoin strategy. Huge. Fong Lee, company's president, will take over in the CEO role, but MicroStrategy reported quarterly results that were light of Wall Street estimates on Tuesday, with revenue coming in at 122.1 million against the expectation of 126 million. Loss in the quarter totaled 918.1 million, with 917.8 million attributable to the company's Bitcoin holdings. Right, so he's gonna look like a genius when the bull run hits. Just to clear the air, he's gonna look like a genius. He was off by 5 million, it looks like. But I'm sure that the board had some say in this, but I think it's going to be one of those things where he is going to look like a genius. He is by far for me, from what I've seen, he was the first CEO to really bet on Bitcoin and really put his money where his mouth is with the company. And I do think through a bull run, he is going to be look like an absolute genius. So at the end of Q2, the carrying value of MicroStrategy's digital assets total of 129,699 Bitcoin, and that was $1.988 billion, which reflects a cumulative impairment loss of $1.989 billion since acquisition, and a average carrying amount of Bitcoin of approximately $15,000, 326. The company said in a statement the cost basis of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin were 3.977 billion and 2.4 billion, pretty much saying that, you know, the average cost of Bitcoin they got in pretty much was around 30,000. The market price was about 18.8 respectively, but you know, they're going to be in a good position to come to bull run. He's going to look like a genius, and I think pretty much he's probably going to be the first trillionaire, to be honest with you. Despite what the article says, despite what happened with him stepping down, I do think that he is going to look like an absolute genius. So Michael Saylor, I would love to interview and meet with him one day, but I think that he is an absolute genius, and he's pretty much going to be the Steve Jobs of this time when it comes to betting big on Bitcoin. And despite what everyone says, everyone's calling him crazy, he's going to come out and be an absolute genius for sure. So super excited for him and future endeavors as he focuses on the Bitcoin side of the business, you know, with MicroStrategy. So shout out to Michael Saylor, guys. So hope you guys got some value out of this video. Keep moving forward in everything that you do. We'll see you soon.